Welcome to Mind Sparks. Do you know there's a generation that remembers rotary phones and the very first iPhone? A generation that doesn't quite belong with Generation X and isn't fully millennial either. Psychologists call them Zenials. Some say it's a microgeneration, a fleeting slice of time for those born roughly between 1976 and 1985. But what makes this group so fascinating isn't the label. It's the experience, the fact that they are the bridge between two very different worlds. This is Mind Sparks, where we expose the psychology behind the masks you wear, the trauma you normalize, and the parts of yourself you were taught to hide. If you're ready to understand your mind at a level most people never will. Let's go deeper. Think back for a moment. Your childhood was completely analog. Boredom wasn't an app you could just close. It was real, it was unavoidable. Phone numbers had to be memorized, and if you missed your favorite TV show, well, it was gone forever. There was no streaming, no on-demand. Then, suddenly, as you stepped into adulthood, the world didn't just gradually evolve. It completely flipped. Digital technology exploded, seemingly overnight. Most generations grow up fully immersed in one technological landscape. Zennials grew up in two. You passed handwritten notes in class, had fleeting conversations that disappeared into thin air, and made plans without a single text message. Trust was shown simply by showing up when you said you would. Patience wasn't a virtue. It was mandatory. Then your 20s arrived, bringing with them cell phones, Friendster, MySpace, and eventually Facebook. Suddenly, connection was everywhere. There were 17 different ways to contact someone instead of just 3. And somehow you adapted. Somehow you thrived in this new reality. This isn't just a coincidence. Neuroscience tells us that the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that handles complex decisions and adaptation, continues developing well into our mid-20s. Zennials were right in that high plasticity window when the digital revolution struck. You were young enough to learn these new technologies naturally, but old enough to remember what life was like before them. Gen Xers? They can sometimes be wary of new tech. Millennials? They barely remember a life without it. But Zennials are fluent in both worlds. You can have a real, uninterrupted, face-to-face conversation, and then turn around and pick up a new piece of software without anxiety. You understand the unique freedom of being completely unreachable. And you also know the thrill of instant connection. Your relationship with memory is fundamentally different too. You remember your 7th grade heartbreaks, those awful haircuts, the messy nights out, but they exist as stories, not as a permanent, searchable digital archive. Your past had room to evolve, to shift, and to become what it needed to be. It was fluid. You weren't trapped by documentation. Unlike younger generations, whose every moment is stored and shareable, you've experienced the natural rhythm of memory, letting things fade and holding on to what truly matters. But life wasn't all wonder and easy adaptation. Many of you were just entering the workforce or starting your careers as the 2008 financial crisis hit. Careers stalled before they even began. Opportunities vanished into thin air. Financial instability arrived at the worst possible time, just as you were trying to build a foundation for your future. Economic trauma experienced during this critical life stage doesn't just disappear. It leaves a subtle current running underneath all of your decisions. A persistent whisper in the back of your mind. What if it all falls apart again? And that's what makes your generation so rare. You learned how to pivot during a technological earthquake while simultaneously navigating the aftershocks of an economic one. You are independent yet cooperative, skeptical yet still hopeful. You are both analog and digital. You've learned to hold these contradictions without feeling discomfort. You see both the loss and the gain in our rapidly changing world. You know the value of patience. You know the importance of solitude. But you've also inherited possibilities your younger self could never have imagined. Instant connection across continents, access to a world of knowledge, and the power of immediate collaboration. You live in a paradox. You exist between worlds. This duality is your defining trait. It's not just about nostalgia for the past, and it's not a blind embrace of the modern world either. It's about adaptation. It's about insight. It's about survival. You understand what's been gained with technology, but you also deeply recognize what's been lost, and you navigate the uncertainty of the future with a unique blend of caution and curiosity. Your story isn't about being superior to any other generation. It's about a unique experience. It is about living through major turning points in history and coming out on the other side capable, maybe even stronger because of them. This is Mind Sparks, where we don't just talk about psychology, we expose it. If you're ready to heal deeper, think sharper, and understand yourself beyond all the surface level advice out there. And if this resonates with you, know this: you're not lost, you're not stuck between generations. You are uniquely equipped to navigate a world that keeps changing faster than anyone can predict. And if you want to explore more deep dives like this, subscribe and join the conversation. There's so much more left for us to uncover together.